Hi everyone, welcome to part 4 of the shoemaking process. My name is Jennifer Allison and I am the founder of the Art and Soul Academy. Now today, our shoes are finally going to start taking shape. We're going to move into the lasting process. Lasting is a term used in the industry to describe the process of taking your upper, positioning it back on the last, stretching your materials to close off your shoe. So let's get started. I'm going to take my upper and position it over top of the last. As you can see, we have left some of the lining extended along the top line so we can position the upper and nail it into place. If you're unsure of the proper placement, you can always refer back to your master pattern to double check. This is a really important step because the way you nail your upper onto the last is how it is going to sit on your foot. So once you've placed enough nails along the top line, it's now time to grab your midsole. The midsole will also get nailed into place underneath the last. It is essentially the baseboard and where all of the layers will get stretched and glued onto. For this pair of shoes, our midsole has been cut out of vegetable tan leather, making it a much better quality than the cardboard you would normally find in factory-made shoes. When cut out of leather, over time the midsole will take shape to your foot and will become very malleable and breathable. So now that we have everything in place, as promised, we can finally start lasting. Lasting is a 3-step process. Each layer will get lasted separately. We will begin with the lining. Our lining is really soft and supple, so I am able to stretch the leather with my fingers and a little bit of help from the lasting pliers. As you can see, I'm starting with the toe and working my way back. Once I reach the heel, I'm actually able to pull both the upper and lining over at the same time because I have already inserted my heel counter stiffener. You can also see that when I'm positioning my nails, I am positioning them nice and close to the edge of the last, which is called your feather line. This is to make sure that I am able to slip in lots of glue later on. When gluing, you will need to make sure you are getting glue on both your lining as well as your midsole. We are using a strong contact cement and it only likes to stick to itself. Once we've given it a chance to dry, we can push down the excess and remove our nails. It is important to give it a tap all around with your hammer to make sure everything is nice and secure before we remove the bulk. To remove the bulk, we need to cut as close to the feather line as we can. The goal is to get the bottom of the last as flat as possible before moving on to the next layer. Once the bottom is nice and flat, we can move on to the toe stiffeners, also known as the toe puff. In a factory, this component is usually made from a thermoadhesive plastic, but once again, to upgrade the quality, we are going to use vegetable tan leather. Now at first, it feels like there's no way you could possibly last this thickness, but there is a trick. If you soak the leather in water, it will become very soft and malleable. And once you're able to scrunch the leather in your hand, that means it's ready to last. Now the toe puff will get placed on top of the lining and then you will flip your shoe over to last the stiffener the exact same way as the first layer. Once lasted, you can place your shoe in front of the fan to dry for about 15-20 minutes and then we can proceed to remove the bulk. Before we last the final layer, we will add the shoemaker's paste all over. This is a hardening paste that will help seal all of our layers together. Now, as I'm sure you can guess, the final layer will get lasted, glued, and skived the exact same way as the first 2 layers. And there we have it. After a lengthy, lasting process, we are all closed up. I'm going to leave our lasts out to dry overnight, so I encourage you to come on back tomorrow to witness the soling and finishing process.